Success. It's a word we hear all the time. It's what we strive for, what we chase, what we measure ourselves against. But here's the problem: most of us are measuring it wrong. We look at titles, bank accounts, the size of a house, or the number of followers on a screen. And when we don't hit the targets we set, we feel like failures. But the truth is, success isn't just about reaching an outcome. It's about the journey, the process, and most importantly, the impact we make along the way. So think about the last time you set a goal. Maybe it was for your career, your health, or even your relationships. You had a vision in mind, a picture of what success looked like. And if you reached that goal, you probably felt good for a while. But then what happened? Another goal took its place. The finish line moved. That's because success isn't a destination. It's not a trophy we get to hold forever. It's something we must redefine every single day. One of the biggest mistakes we make is thinking success is about being better than someone else. That if we outrun, outwork, or outshine others, we've won. But real success isn't about comparison. It's about progress. It's about being better today than we were yesterday. It's about showing up, pushing forward, and learning from every step, whether we win or lose. There are people who have everything society considers successful: money, status, recognition, but they feel empty. Why? Because they were chasing a definition of success that wasn't their own. They climbed a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Success isn't about what the world sees. It's about what we feel when we go to bed at night, knowing we lived with purpose, with integrity, with passion. Imagine you're a leader in a company, you hit your revenue targets, exceed projections, and get a big promotion. But your team is disengaged. They don't trust you. They don't feel inspired by your leadership. Is that success? Or imagine you work tirelessly to build a business. You make millions, but in the process, you lose your health, your relationships, and your sense of self. Is that success? We need to measure success differently. Not just by how much we achieve, but by how much we contribute. By the way we lift others up, by the legacy we leave, not in our bank accounts, but in the hearts and minds of the people we touch. The best leaders, the most successful people, don't measure success by what they get, they measure it by what they give. There's a story of two runners in a race. One is focused only on the finish line, running as fast as possible, never looking back. The other is running just as hard but takes a moment to encourage a fellow runner struggling beside him. In the end, both crossed the finish line. But which one was truly successful? Success is about relationships. It's about the impact we make on others, the connections we build, the trust we earn. If you want to measure success, don't look at your title, look at the people who believe in you. I don't look at your bank account, look at the lives you've touched. And most importantly, understand that success is a lifelong journey. There is no finish line. There is no moment where you can say, I've made it, and stop growing. The best people, the ones who truly change the world, are the ones who never stop learning, never stop striving, never stop asking, how can I be better? So the next time you wonder if you're successful, ask yourself this: am I growing? Am I helping others? Am I making a difference? Because if the answer is yes, then you are already more successful than you think. True success isn't about reaching a final goal. It's about continuous growth, learning, and progress. Success isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. The most meaningful success comes from what we give, the impact we make, and how we help others grow. Real success is measured by the trust, loyalty, and positive influence we have on people, not just money or titles. The best leaders and achievers never stop growing, evolving, and striving to make a greater difference in the world. Success is something we all chase, something we all dream about. But the way most people think about success is fundamentally flawed. We've been conditioned to believe that success is a destination, a final point we reach, where we can finally say, I made it. But what happens after that? The moment we hit one milestone, another one appears. The moment we reach the goal, the satisfaction fades, and we set our eyes on something else. This is because success is not a place we arrive at. It's not a one-time event. It's a continuous journey, an ongoing process of growth, learning, and improvement. Think about the last time you accomplished something significant. Maybe it was a promotion, starting a business, or reaching a personal goal. For a while, it felt amazing. There was a sense of pride, accomplishment, even joy. But then what happened? That feeling didn't last forever. Eventually, you found yourself asking, what's next? This cycle happens because success is not meant to be a single moment of achievement. It's meant to be something we experience throughout our lives by constantly evolving and striving for more. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that success is about getting somewhere and then stopping. They think once they reach a certain level, whether it's financial success, career advancement, or personal achievement, they can finally relax. But the reality is, the most successful people never stop growing. They never stop pushing themselves to be better. They don't see success as an endpoint, but as a continuous process. They understand that the moment they stop learning, the moment they stop improving, they start falling behind. Consider the greatest athletes, the most influential leaders, and the most successful entrepreneurs. None of them achieved greatness and then decided to stop working, stop learning, or stop improving. The best in the world don't see success as something they reach. They see it as something they must maintain through constant effort. They know that every new level of success comes with new challenges, new lessons, and new opportunities to grow. The journey of success is also filled with setbacks, failures, and unexpected turns. That's another reason why it can't be seen as a destination. If success were simply about reaching a goal, then failure would mean the journey is over. But the most successful people understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every setback is an opportunity to learn. Every mistake is a lesson. Those who achieve great things are the ones who embrace the process, who stay committed even when things don't go as planned. They don't let a failure define them because they know the journey is long, and every step, good or bad, contributes to their growth. Another key part of understanding success as a journey is realizing that it is personal. There is no universal definition of success. Society often tells us that success looks a certain way: a high-paying job, a big house, or widespread recognition. But those things don't guarantee fulfillment. True success is about aligning your actions with your values, pursuing something meaningful, and growing into the best version of yourself. That means success looks different for everyone. Some find it in business, some in relationships, some in creative expression, and some in service to others. What matters is that you define success on your own terms and commit to the journey of achieving it. One of the biggest challenges in embracing success as a journey is patience. In a world that prioritizes quick results, instant gratification, and overnight success stories, it can be hard to stay committed to long-term growth. But real success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and persistence. Those who build something meaningful understand that small, consistent progress is far more important than quick wins. They focus on getting better each day rather than expecting immediate perfection. Imagine someone who wants to run a marathon but has never run before. If they focus only on crossing the finish line, they might get frustrated after their first few training sessions. But if they see success as a journey, they will recognize that every mile they run, no matter how small, is progress. They will understand that growth happens over time, and the real success is not just finishing the race, but becoming a stronger, healthier, and more disciplined person in the process. Success also requires adaptability. Because it's a journey, not a fixed point, the path will often change. What you thought was your destination might turn out to be just another step in a bigger journey. That's why the ability to pivot, to change course when necessary, is crucial. The most successful people are not those who stick rigidly to a single plan, but those who are willing to adjust, learn, and evolve as new opportunities and challenges arise. It's also important to remember that success is not just about what we achieve, but about who we become along the way. A person who climbs to the top of their industry but loses their values, their relationships, or their sense of purpose has not truly succeeded. The journey matters just as much as the outcome, if not more. That's why focusing on personal growth, character, and impact is essential. When success is seen as a lifelong process, it becomes about more than just goals. It becomes about living a life of meaning, contribution, and continuous improvement. Ultimately, success is about embracing the process. It's about understanding that every step you take, every lesson you learn, every challenge you face is part of something bigger. It's about focusing not just on where you're going, but on how you're growing along the way. Success is often measured in comparison to others. From an early age, people are taught to compete, whether in school, sports, careers, or social status. The idea that being ahead of someone else means being successful has been ingrained in society. But the problem with this way of thinking is that it creates a cycle that never ends. There will always be someone who is wealthier, more accomplished, more talented, or more recognized. If success is based on comparison, then true fulfillment will always be just out of reach. The need to compare comes from external validation. People look at social media and see others living what appears to be a better life, achieving greater things, and experiencing more success. They see friends getting promotions, buying houses, or traveling the world, and suddenly their own accomplishments feel small. But comparison is a trap. It shifts the focus away from personal progress and places it on an ever-changing, uncontrollable standard. No matter how much someone achieves, if they are constantly measuring against others, they will never feel like it's enough. Real success is not about outperforming someone else, it is about improving oneself. Every person has their own starting point, their own journey, and their own unique challenges. Comparing two different lives is like comparing two different races. Each person is running in their own lane, at their own pace, with their own obstacles to overcome. The only real measure of success is personal growth. It is about being better today than yesterday, learning more, growing more, and making consistent progress in the right direction. There is a difference between inspiration and comparison. Looking at others' achievements can be motivating when it provides ideas, encouragement, and a vision for what is possible. But when it leads to self-doubt, jealousy, or the feeling of never being enough, it becomes destructive. Instead of measuring against someone else's timeline, success should be measured by personal benchmarks, goals set based on individual values, aspirations, and potential. One of the dangers of measuring success through comparison is that it often leads to a shallow definition of achievement. People chase titles, wealth, or recognition because those are the things that are easy to compare. But these external measures don't necessarily lead to fulfillment. A person might have the highest salary in their company but feel miserable in their job. Another might have thousands of social media followers but feel completely alone. If success is only defined by being ahead of others, it can lead to achieving things that don't actually matter on a deeper level. There is also a hidden cost to constantly comparing. It drains energy and focus that could be used for personal growth. Instead of spending time improving, learning, or creating, people get stuck worrying about what others are doing. This slows progress and creates frustration. The most successful people are not distracted by how well others are doing. They are too busy working on themselves, developing their skills, and pushing forward in their own journey. One of the most effective ways to measure success personally is to track growth over time. Looking back at where one started and recognizing progress is a far better indicator of success than looking sideways at someone else's journey. It helps build confidence, motivation, and a sense of accomplishment. The only real competitor is the person in the mirror. The goal should not be to be better than someone else, but to be better than yesterday. Another important shift in mindset is recognizing that success is not a finite resource. Someone else's achievements do not take away from another's potential. There is no limit on success, and helping others grow does not mean losing personal progress. In fact, collaboration and support often lead to even greater success. The best leaders and the most successful individuals are those who lift others up rather than compete against them. Success is also deeply personal. Two people can have completely different definitions of what it means to be successful. One might see success as climbing the corporate ladder, while another sees it as having time for family and personal passions. Both are valid, and neither is more valuable than the other. The only way to truly measure success is to align it with personal values and long-term fulfillment. Another challenge of using comparison as a measure of success is that it often relies on incomplete information. People only see the highlight reels of others' lives. They see the achievements, but not the struggles, the victories, but not the failures. It's easy to look at someone's success and feel behind, but behind every great achievement is a story of challenges, setbacks, and persistence. When people stop comparing and start focusing on their own path, they realize that success is not about where others are, but about where they are going. When success is measured by personal progress, it becomes more sustainable. It eliminates the constant pressure to be better than someone else and replaces it with a healthier, more fulfilling motivation to keep growing. It allows for mistakes, learning, and resilience. It makes success about the long-term journey rather than short-term competition. The people who find the greatest success and fulfillment are the ones who let go of the need to compare. They define success on their own terms, focus on consistent growth, and stay committed to their journey without being distracted by others. When success is measured this way, it becomes something that lasts, not just a fleeting moment of being ahead, but a lifelong process of becoming better, stronger, and more fulfilled. Success is often seen as the accumulation of achievements, wealth, or status. People chase promotions, awards, and material possessions, believing that these things define success. But there's a difference between success that looks good on the outside and success that actually feels meaningful. True success is not just about personal achievement. It's about contribution. It's about the impact one makes, the value one brings to others, and the difference one creates in the world. When success is only measured by what one gains, it can become an empty pursuit. There are many people who reach the top of their industries, earn millions, and receive praise, yet feel unfulfilled. They have everything they thought would bring happiness, but something is missing. That's because success without contribution lacks meaning. Achievement alone does not create lasting fulfillment, but making a meaningful impact on others does. Contribution gives success purpose. It turns personal ambition into something bigger than oneself. The most admired leaders, entrepreneurs, and creators are those who don't just focus on their own success, but also on how they can improve the lives of others. They create solutions, inspire change, and make a difference in ways that extend beyond personal gain. The legacy they leave is not just about what they accomplished, but about how they helped others grow, succeed, and thrive. One of the most powerful ways to measure success is by the number of lives one positively impacts. A teacher who helps students believe in themselves, a leader who creates opportunities for their team, an entrepreneur who builds something that improves people's lives. These are examples of success that go beyond personal achievements. These individuals may or may not have the biggest bank accounts or the most recognition, but their contribution gives their work deeper significance. Contribution is also what creates lasting success. Many people achieve great things temporarily, but only those who bring value to others build something that lasts. Businesses that focus only on profits but neglect their customers or employees eventually decline. Leaders who chase personal power without investing in their teams lose influence over time, but those who prioritize serving others, adding value, and making a meaningful contribution create success that continues to grow. When people shift their mindset from "what can I get" to "what can I give," their definition of success changes. It becomes less about chasing external validation and more about creating something meaningful. Contribution leads to deeper motivation because it connects personal effort to something larger than individual success. It turns work into purpose, and purpose drives long-term fulfillment. Success through contribution also creates stronger relationships. The people who are most respected and admired are not those who simply accumulate personal achievements, but those who lift others up along the way. The best leaders, mentors, and professionals build trust and loyalty by genuinely helping others succeed. They invest in people, share knowledge, and create opportunities, which in turn strengthens their own success. One of the most powerful examples of success through contribution is mentorship. Many highly successful people credit their growth to someone who guided, taught, or supported them. Being that person for someone else is one of the greatest forms of contribution. It's a way to pass on knowledge, experience, and encouragement that can transform another person's journey. The impact of mentorship doesn't just help one individual, it creates a ripple effect, influencing countless others in the future. Another way to measure success through contribution is by looking at the problems one helps solve. Some of the most impactful successes come from identifying a need and finding a way to address it. This can be in business, leadership, or everyday life. The most successful entrepreneurs build solutions that serve people. The best leaders remove obstacles for their teams. Even in personal relationships, success can be measured by the ways one supports and uplifts others. Contribution is also what brings true joy in success. Achieving something personally is rewarding, but seeing that success positively affect others multiplies that feeling. It creates a sense of purpose that goes beyond individual satisfaction. When people use their talents, skills, and resources to help others, they experience a deeper level of fulfillment than any title or financial reward can provide. There is also a long-term benefit to measuring success through contribution. Personal achievements can fade, titles change, money comes and goes, and recognition is temporary. But the impact one makes on others lasts. The way a person treats people, the value they provide, and the difference they make in the lives of others continue to live on. Contribution is the only form of success that extends beyond the individual, creating a legacy that lasts beyond a single lifetime. One of the greatest shifts in thinking happens when people stop asking, "What can I achieve?" and start asking, "How can I serve?" The moment success becomes about contribution, everything changes. Work becomes more meaningful, challenges become opportunities to create impact, achievements become more fulfilling because they are tied to something greater than personal gain. This approach to success is not just beneficial for individuals, it benefits teams, organizations, and society as a whole. When leaders focus on contributing rather than just achieving, they build stronger teams. When businesses prioritize value over profits, they create loyal customers. When people measure their success by the positive change they create, they inspire others to do the same. The most successful and fulfilled people are not those who simply accumulate more, they are the ones who give more. They understand that true success is not measured by what they have, but by the impact they make. Their legacy is not built on their accomplishments alone, but on the lives they've touched, the people they've helped, and the contributions they've made to something bigger than themselves. Success is often associated with personal achievements, financial milestones, and professional recognition. People work hard to climb the corporate ladder, build businesses, and gain influence, but real success is not measured by titles, wealth, or status alone. It is measured by the relationships built along the way, the trust earned, and the way people are impacted by one's leadership and presence. A person can reach the highest level of success in their field, but if they have no one who trusts them, respects them, or values their presence, their success is empty. Relationships matter more than status because success is never achieved alone. No great leader, entrepreneur, or professional has ever reached the top without the support, guidance, and collaboration of others. The people who achieve true, lasting success are those who invest in relationships, build strong teams, and create environments where trust and respect thrive. They understand that their success is not just about what they accomplish individually, but about the people they bring along on the journey. Trust is the foundation of meaningful success. Without trust, no amount of skill, knowledge, or talent can sustain long-term achievement. A leader can have the best ideas, but if their team does not trust them, those ideas will never be executed effectively. A business can have the best products, but if customers do not trust the company, they will go elsewhere. Trust is what turns influence into impact, and it is what makes success sustainable. One of the greatest mistakes people make in their pursuit of success is prioritizing power over trust. They believe that authority, titles, or financial dominance are what make them successful. But authority without trust creates fear, not loyalty. Money without trust creates transactions, not relationships. Success built on power alone is fragile because the moment that power is lost, so is everything that was built upon it. True success, the kind that lasts, is built on relationships and trust. Trust is not given freely. It is earned over time through consistency, integrity, and genuine care for others. People trust those who show up for them, who follow through on their promises, and who prioritize relationships over short-term gains. Trust is earned by those who listen, who respect others, and who act with honesty, even when no one is watching. It takes time to build, but can be lost in an instant. That is why the most successful people are those who protect and nurture the trust they have earned. Success without strong relationships often leads to isolation. There are countless stories of highly successful individuals who, despite their achievements, feel alone. They have reached the top, but they have burned bridges along the way. They have gained everything they once thought they wanted, but they have no meaningful relationships to share it with. This is why true success is not about standing at the top alone, but about bringing others along, supporting them, and building a network of trust that makes the journey worthwhile. The way a person treats others along the path to success determines the quality of that success. People remember how they were treated more than they remember the achievements of someone else. A leader who lifts others up, supports their team, and builds an environment of trust will always be more successful in the long run than someone who only looks out for themselves. The relationships built through kindness, respect, and trust become the greatest assets in life. Success through relationships is not just about professional connections. It applies to every area of life. In personal relationships, trust and connection matter far more than material success. No amount of financial wealth can replace the value of genuine friendships, strong family bonds, and meaningful human connections. In leadership, the most effective leaders are those who build trust within their teams, who make people feel valued, and who create a culture where people want to succeed together. In business, customers are more loyal to brands they trust than to those that simply offer the best products or lowest prices. One of the key indicators of real success is how people feel in your presence. Do they feel valued? Do they feel heard? Do they feel inspired to do better because of the trust and respect you show them? These are the true measures of success, not just titles or financial status. People might remember achievements, but they never forget how they were treated. Building success through relationships and trust also leads to greater long-term growth. The people who invest in strong relationships find that opportunities come more naturally. They don't have to force success because they have built a network of people who trust them, support them, and believe in them. The best opportunities often come not from skill alone, but from relationships built on trust and mutual respect. There is also a deeper level of fulfillment that comes from success rooted in relationships. Achievements may bring temporary satisfaction, but relationships bring lasting joy. Knowing that success has positively impacted others, that trust has been built, and that meaningful connections have been formed is far more rewarding than any financial or professional milestone. A person's legacy is not defined by their achievements alone, but by the relationships they have built and the trust they have earned. Long after a career ends or financial success fades, the impact made on others remains. People will remember not the titles held, the money earned, or the power exercised, but the way they were treated, the trust that was built, and the relationships that were nurtured. That is why success must be measured not just by what is accomplished, but by the trust and relationships that are strengthened along the way. Success is often thought of as a fixed state, something that once achieved remains constant. People work hard to reach a certain level in their careers, to build a business, to gain recognition, or to accumulate wealth, believing that once they get there, they will have made it. But the reality is that success is not a permanent condition. It is something that must be maintained, nurtured, and continuously worked for. What brought success today will not necessarily sustain it tomorrow. True success requires adaptability, learning, and a commitment to growth. Many people who achieve great things make the mistake of thinking that their success will last forever. They assume that because they've reached a certain level, they no longer need to improve, evolve, or stay ahead of change. But history is filled with examples of once great businesses, leaders, and individuals who fell behind because they stopped growing. They became comfortable with their past achievements and failed to recognize that success is not something you achieve once, it's something you have to keep working for every day. The world is constantly changing, industries evolve, technology advances, and new challenges emerge. Those who hold on to an outdated way of thinking, who resist change, or who assume that what worked in the past will always work in the future, find themselves struggling to maintain their success. The most successful people understand that what got them to where they are is not enough to keep them there. They continuously push themselves to learn more, to adapt, and to stay ahead of the curve. One of the biggest threats to long-term success is complacency. When people become comfortable, they stop growing. They stop seeking new knowledge, new skills, and new ways to improve. This is why so many companies that were once dominant in their industries eventually failed. They assumed their success was permanent, that their customers would always stay loyal, and that they didn't need to innovate. But success is never guaranteed. It must be earned repeatedly. The same applies to individuals. Those who stop learning, stop adapting, and stop challenging themselves eventually fall behind. Another challenge in sustaining success is the tendency to focus only on past victories. It is easy to look back on achievements and believe they are enough, but success is not about what has already been done, it is about what is still being done. Those who sustain success understand that yesterday's accomplishments are just stepping stones to future growth. They celebrate their wins, but they never let those wins make them complacent. Adaptability is one of the most important skills for maintaining success. The ability to recognize change, to adjust strategies, and to embrace new opportunities is what separates those who remain successful from those who fade away. Some of the greatest success stories are not about people who never failed, but about those who adapted when challenges arose. They were willing to change course, to reinvent themselves, and to embrace new ways of thinking. They understood that maintaining success requires flexibility, not rigid adherence to the past. Another key to sustaining success is surrounding yourself with the right people. Success is not a solo journey. It requires strong relationships, mentorship, and continuous learning from others. Those who build a network of trusted advisors, colleagues, and supporters find that they are better equipped to handle challenges and adapt to change. They seek out new perspectives, listen to feedback, and stay open to learning from others. The people who sustain success are those who never believe they have all the answers. They stay humble, they ask questions, and they seek guidance when needed. Sustained success also comes from maintaining a strong work ethic. One of the greatest dangers of achieving success is the temptation to slow down. Many people, once they reach a certain level, reduce their effort, assuming they can now relax. But success is not a one-time achievement. It is a daily commitment. The most successful individuals continue to put in the work, even when they have already achieved great things. They understand that success is not something you reach and then stop working for. It is something you have to earn again and again. Resilience plays a crucial role in maintaining success. Challenges, failures, and setbacks are inevitable. No one stays on top forever without facing difficulties. The people who remain successful are those who view setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. They do not let failure define them. Instead, they use it as motivation to come back stronger. They recognize that the ability to bounce back from difficulties is just as important as the ability to achieve success in the first place. Maintaining success also requires staying true to one's values and purpose. Many people achieve success only to lose themselves in the process. They compromise their principles, chase superficial rewards, or prioritize short-term gains over long-term fulfillment. But true success is not just about maintaining status or wealth. It is about maintaining integrity, impact, and a sense of purpose. Those who sustain success do so by staying aligned with their core values, making decisions based on what truly matters, and ensuring that their success is built on a foundation of meaning rather than just external recognition. Health and well-being are often overlooked in discussions about sustaining success, but they are critical. Many people work relentlessly to achieve success, only to burn out, lose their motivation, or suffer from exhaustion. True, lasting success is not just about maintaining external achievements, but also about maintaining personal well-being. The most successful people recognize that in order to sustain their achievements, they must take care of their physical and mental health. They build habits that support long-term energy, focus, and resilience. Another important factor in maintaining success is the ability to stay hungry. The people who continue to thrive are those who never lose their drive to improve. They remain curious, passionate, and eager to grow. They set new goals, challenge themselves, and refuse to settle for mediocrity. They understand that success is not about reaching a final destination, but about continually striving for excellence. Success is not something that lasts forever unless it is nurtured, protected, and actively pursued. It is not enough to achieve success once. True success is about sustaining it over time. Those who remain successful are those who never stop learning, never stop growing, and never stop adapting. They understand that what got them here will not necessarily keep them here, and they embrace the journey of continuous improvement, resilience, and commitment to something greater than themselves. Success is often thought of as a final destination, a point where one arrives and no longer needs to strive. But the truth is, success is not an endpoint, it is an ongoing journey. It is not defined by a single moment of achievement, but by the continuous effort, growth, and impact one creates along the way. Those who understand this recognize that success is not about a single victory, but about how they sustain it, how they contribute to others, and how they continue to evolve over time. The world often measures success by external markers, titles, wealth, recognition, but those who have truly experienced success know that these things alone do not bring lasting fulfillment. The deepest, most meaningful success is rooted in purpose, relationships, and the ability to make a difference. It is about waking up every day with the knowledge that one's work, actions, and presence matter, not just for personal gain, but for something greater. People who build success based only on external validation often find themselves constantly chasing the next milestone, always searching for something that will finally make them feel complete. But real success does not come from chasing. It comes from aligning actions with purpose, from making a meaningful impact, and from continuously growing in a way that is true to one's values. It is not about winning once, but about creating a legacy that extends beyond oneself. The greatest measure of success is not found in what is accumulated, but in what is given. The most successful people are those who contribute, who create opportunities for others, who build something that outlives them. They understand that success is not a competition, but a responsibility to lead with integrity, to support those around them, and to use their influence for good. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that success is something that happens overnight. In reality, it is built through years of effort, resilience, and continuous learning. Those who sustain success are the ones who never stop evolving, who never allow themselves to become complacent, and who remain open to growth no matter how much they have already achieved. They recognize that the pursuit of excellence never ends. It is a lifelong commitment. Success is also about adaptability. The world changes, industries shift, and challenges arise. Those who remain successful are not the ones who resist change, but the ones who embrace it. They are willing to learn new skills, to adjust their approach, and to see obstacles as opportunities for growth. They understand that the ability to adapt is not a weakness, but a strength, and that those who fail to evolve will eventually be left behind. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of success is the importance of relationships. People often think of success as an individual accomplishment, but no one truly succeeds alone. The most impactful leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals are those who build strong relationships, who earn trust, and who invest in others. They know that success is not just about what they achieve, but about the people they bring along with them. The true test of success is not just whether one reaches their goals, but how they do so. Success achieved at the cost of integrity, relationships, or well-being is not true success at all. The most successful people are those who reach their goals while staying true to their values, treating people with respect, and maintaining balance in their lives. They understand that success without meaning is empty, and that real achievement comes from aligning success with purpose. Another defining characteristic of those who sustain success is resilience. No path to success is free from obstacles. Setbacks, failures, and challenges are inevitable. But those who are truly successful are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to be defined by failure. They see challenges as lessons, use setbacks as fuel for growth, and continue moving forward even in the face of difficulty. Success also requires a deep sense of self-awareness. Many people pursue success based on society's definition rather than their own. They chase things they think will make them happy, only to realize they were pursuing someone else's version of success. The happiest and most fulfilled individuals are those who define success on their own terms, who pursue what truly matters to them, and who are not influenced by external pressures or expectations. At its core, success is about impact. The most successful people are those who leave the world better than they found it. They create, they inspire, they lift others up. Their success is not just measured in personal achievements, but in the positive change they bring to those around them. They understand that true success is not about personal gain, it is about making a difference. Sustaining success requires a commitment to growth, integrity, and contribution. It is about continuously learning, staying adaptable, and focusing on what truly matters. Those who remain successful are those who never stop improving, who never lose sight of their purpose, and who understand that success is not something that is owned, but something that must be earned every day. Success is not about reaching a final destination, but about how one chooses to walk the path. It is about the effort put in, the relationships built, the trust earned, and the value created along the way. It is not about a single moment of triumph, but about a lifetime of purpose, impact, and continuous evolution. Those who understand this are the ones who experience true, lasting success.